Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself up your ringside seat, get your soda, your popcorn, your whiskey, get everything you need, because holy crap, do we have an incredible show lined up for you guys today.
The first thing I need you to do is get your streaming service ready, because I mean, we got you pumped up here. We done got a cast off guest off somebody else's podcast, and damn it, we about to blow up. You ain't gonna believe who we got in studio today. Didn't even know she was a wrestling fan. So I did know it, and anybody who knows the lore out there will know what I'm talking about here. But apparently this particular artist was a babysitter for Jeff Jarrett in her early days, like long before she was, global icon, most recognizable superstar. No, I'm not talking about The Rock, but most recognizable superstar in the world, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But yeah, I knew she had that wrestling tie, but I didn't know that we were going to get a conversation out of it.
Seriously. So without further ado, let me look at my notes here. Let me make sure that I'm actually going to pronounce all the introduction right that our producer gave us. So,
all right, this is going to be our number 13 guest, right?
Our number 13 guest, incredible young lady. Wait, what? No, this can't be right. Producer, look at these damn notes. Is this right? Dude,
make the announcement. Dude, the listeners are hanging on the edge of their seats. They're ready to hear. They're ready to hear global icon. What are you doing?
Who in the blue hell is Sailor Twift?
Wait, what?
Who is Sailor Twift?
What are you talking about?
That's who's on this piece of paper. Producer. Who is Sailor Twift?
Hold on, let me see that. Give me that.
Look.
This is a typo. Get out of here. Get the producer in here.
Who is Sailor? You fired. You are fired. As Vince would say, you're fired.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. You told me that we were having global icon superstar. I mean, because, I've been out of town this whole weekend. Everybody who follows me on social knows I've been gone.
Right.
I got back yesterday. I came back early from my vacation because you told me we got to be here. We got global, biggest superstar in the world.
Yep.
Now you're telling me that this was a ha-ha funny?
Bruh, you know about as much as I did, because now I'm looking at the name Sailor Twift.
You know what? Dude, I'm out.
Oh, no. Oh, we lost Frank. Wait a minute. He's sipping his sponsor first, though. Look at that. At least we got something right. Oh, wait a minute. Is he coming back?
No, I'm not playing with it. I came home early for this. Yeah, I understand how contracts work and all that. I get all that, but that has nothing to do. This is false advertising. You told me and the listeners that we were getting T-Swift.
Get him, Frank.
You're telling me what?
Get him, Frank. Get him.
All right, yeah, you're right. The fans are more important than this bullshit.
Ooh,
right.
That appears to have passed over.
Yeah, no. So there'll be a conversation had after this, but they're right. I don't do this show for celebrities. Now granted, the reason I'm all gussied up like this, I got my finest cologne on, broke out the jewelry.
Right.
The reason I got all that done was because I heard I was gonna meet The Swift.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a little heated right now, but they're right. I don't do this to meet celebrities. We're not doing this for fame and fortune. We're doing this for the fans and our love of the business. So all right, I'm gonna put this one in, but yeah. Let's just say there's gonna be some conversations about how contracts work going forward.
I'm gonna have to read these notes more detail next time.
I think I'm holding you responsible for this too, because you're the one. Production didn't call me out of town. Yeah.
Wait, how?
Production didn't call me out of town and say we need you back ASAP. We got a big one. That was you that told me that.
Bruh.
And you were like, you're not going to want to miss this.
Bro, I was deceived.
Yeah,
I was deceived.
Hornswoggle.
I was hornswoggled.
Bamboozled.
I was bamboozled.
All right. Yeah, I understand. So was I.
I was swifted.
So was I. Yeah, I wasn't swifted. That's what I came back for. I read something over the weekend. Her and Travis were having a little riff or whatnot. Maybe weren't necessarily.
You were getting ready to make the play.
Well, yeah, hey, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Hey, he did. That's how he went.
Right. That's exactly how he did. He made some little bracelet.
I ain't mad.
Next thing you know, he got the richest recording artist in the world on his arm from a bracelet. I can make a bracelet. I got a bracelet right like that. Remember the bracelets they used to have in the 90s that had your little initials on them and all that?
Yeah,
I got one of them upstairs from back in the day.
I got a slap bracelet somewhere.
There you go. I mean, hey, I slap it. I wouldn't mind slapping that. So I mean, yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Here we go.
There ain't a lot there to slap, though. I mean, let's talk serious though.
If
there ain't a lot to slap there. So I mean, I might come back with a hurt hand, but you know what I'm saying.
So you say Charlotte? She's Charlotte.
Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah, a little bit, right? But sometimes the squeeze is worth the juice. Sometimes it ain't. There ain't a lot of squeeze there, so I don't know how much juice I'm gonna get. But you know what I'm saying? It's worth a shot, right?
Say sometimes there's jelly, sometimes there's wafers.
Yeah. That's got to be jam because jelly don't shake like that. Yeah, they got that right. So.
All right, so we're not getting T Swift. We apparently we were going to get Sailor Twift, which sounds like she might have.
Ain't she doing the Travis Kelce podcast or something like that?
Yeah.
Damn. So they got. So I guess there's no rift. I guess I was also hornswoggled and bamboozled on that conversation too. Yeah.
So apparently,
next time I go out of town, I guess I'll have to check my emails a little more closely.
Well, let's get to today's sponsor at least.
Speaking of, that's what happened. I was out with my family all weekend. We did a lot of partaking. I can't say certain words on certain platforms,
PG.
but we did a lot of partaking of the spirits. And yeah, so when I'm getting these calls at like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and what do they say? 3 or 4 in the back. There ain't no way I was not going to understand. All I knew was you told me I needed to be back because this was the biggest.
I know. We'll make it up.
We were going to ever have on the show.
We'll have to make it up to you
and
somehow.
You said, and she looks good. And I'm like, well, that's all I needed to hear. I thought you were talking about Miss Tiffany Stratton, so I came hustling back. She's all over the podcast world this weekend.
She is.
Yeah.
And apparently she's available.
I mean, so maybe that's the rumor maybe that's the one you told me about. Maybe I got my wires twisted. Again, a lot of drinks, a lot of family,
different
a lot
TS,
of fun,
different TS.
Exactly. Yeah, I was right. So I mean, say right string, wrong yo-yo. So perhaps I got my wires crossed out there, but I know who we were supposed to have on the show today.
Yep.
So I know that, but yeah, I might have been getting my wires crossed on the other TS over there, just a wishful thinking, perhaps. But apparently she did the Impulsive podcast. So, after you listen to us, go check that out.
That was a good one. Actually,
I didn't get a chance to watch it. You know what?
Really, really interesting story to tell about her NXT days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be signed up for that.
Yeah. Apparently, there's more than goes down in parking lots in Orlando than just the Performance Center parking lot.
We got lot lizards in the world?
No.
Oh, man, I thought that was the kind of story you were going to tell me
about. she fancied herself as a professional boxer. She tried to.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's completely different than lot lizard.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, yeah. So, no, I had a good weekend, though. I mean, like I said, I partook of a lot of libations, a lot of inebriation going on, and I got misled, or I got mizzled, as some people would read it. Yeah, people that don't read well would call it mizzled. Well, I got misled.
Well, let's not mislead our sponsor. Let's get to our sponsor this week. Sponsors Weller Special Reserve for this week. Definite good bourbon whiskey, and let's
high on the hog this week.
Let's cheers to you having a great trip and being back in town.
All right, little hair of the dog, as they call it.
All right, so since we've got some time to make up in our podcast,
you want to go through the questions I had over here, man? Like, hold on, what exactly is your inseam? That was the first question. I didn't really have no other direction to go. It was kind of just going to build from that. But again, I also thought we were single, so I thought there was a reason I was asking. But yeah, no, I digress.
Let's talk about what seems to be on everybody's mind these days, as far as a hot topic. Somebody who just released a book, is making the book media tours. And speaking of released, talk about Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. As you know, if you've been listening for
now, wait, I got a question. I got a clarifying question before we go too far.
Yeah.
When you say recently released,
yes,
are we speaking kayfabe or are we speaking?
Well, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. I need to know the direction I'm going. I've been out of town for a weekend.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But there's no secret here that I'm a huge Karrion Kross fan, huge Killer Kross fan before he became Karrion Kross. Dude has tremendous amounts of potential and was starting to show that on the main roster. He had already shown it in NXT, different type of a character in NXT, however, than he was portraying on the main roster. But nonetheless, all of a sudden, Contract was getting ready to expire as of Sunday, August 10th.
That's convenient.
Convenient.
How often do contracts expire mid-month?
Also, how often do contracts expire the day you have a book release?
Yeah. And the day that you just jobbed out. What was it? The day after you just jobbed out on and the fans had a huge uproar over.
Yep.
Oh,
So-
what convenience!
So, as of right now, Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux is no longer with the WWE, or are they?
Well, that's an interesting conversation. So the same way as you said, you're a very highly touted Karrion Kross fan and a very highly touted Killer Kross fan. I'm a very highly touted Scarlett fan, right? So when I read the
Of course
news,
you would be.
I'm like, holy hell, no. Let's. I was like, we at least need to get half of that act under contract today.
Let's be honest, though. The Scarlett we got in the WWE was not the smoke show. We never got the smoke show.
This is true. I mean, she was a shell of herself in WWE. And
they tamed her
I'm not
way
100%
down.
sure why, right? Because we wandered into different territory with other female talent in the company. So it's like, why put the muzzle on her? Now, I would think personally, because she's got a more sordid past than some of the other, female superstars in the company. She's done a little bit more, the Scarlet expose and things like that. She's had a more colored past or checkered past, I guess you would call it. So I guess they don't want to lean into it and then lead younger viewers into finding that information out. But let's look at in this day and age of technology, I think anybody who wants to find it, they're going to find it, right?
Oh, obviously. It's the internet.
Right. So why tame this character, and let other characters run free as the wind? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Tis true. But there was always something a little off.
Let me take a gander at that girl.
There was always something, though, a little off with what was being done with Karrion Kross. And I think we've hinted at it in maybe not podcast conversations, but off-air conversations, we've hinted at it. Almost as if that whole gimmick that Vince tried to put him in buried him right then and there.
Yeah, the bald head, and the war,
the BDSM type gimmick,
the war wear or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he kind of looked like a Viking Raider when they were first around, and I'm like, wait, what? We already got two of them that you're ruining by calling them the Viking Raiders and taking away, War Machine in the first place. Why are we ruining another guy with the same gimmick? What are we doing here?
And to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about right there, like they dropped War Machine because they're PG.
Yeah.
They couldn't have War. Well, they dropped Killer Kross because they're PG. And obviously they dropped the Smoke Show because they're PG.
Right.
So
all fails.
But granted, I mean, even though you're going to cancel some of that out, so they're creative enough to come up with the new gimmicks, and I believe Karrion Kross was starting to get that traction with that new gimmick, and I don't know why they let him go. Now, obviously, we're talking maybe that this could be a work.
Yep.
Could he not be let go, and they're working the fans and they're driving interest to the story? Well, if you've listened to Ariel Helwani's podcast from Wednesday, listen to what Karrion says on there. This is not a work. This is a straight up fact that him and Scarlett are no longer with the company.
Yeah.
Now, coming off the fact of two things. We just came off the fact of Seth Rollins working everybody.
Yep.
Including the boys and the girls in the back.
Yep. Yeah, also including the local media. Or national media.
Right.
Equivalent of Ariel Helwani. So
we come off the Ron Killings or R-Truth. We're coming off of this, which I believe was a total shoot.
Yeah. I think that worked itself into a shoot. I think it started out as a shoot, and then it worked itself into a work. I think it really went to a shoot when they had to bring him back. I think they had to shoot bring him back because they were like, oh no, we don't want this groundswell.
No, so here's where I'm at with this whole thing with Karrion Kross. If it is if this is true, I feel bad because as a fan, I was behind him. I love the act that him and Scarlett have together. I love his in-ring work. I love the character that he was starting to put together. I love all the shit that he's talked about in podcasts and in YouTube episodes and stuff of ideas he's pitched that never got to come to fruition. I love all of that. And look, you know me, I'm the gypsy of the group here. I wander in and out of different wrestling promotions and I look at different things that's happening. I've seen both of Karrion's Bloodsport matches, both of which were like, why the freak are they not doing this in WWE? Again, though, it's not the WWE style.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it ventures out a little too far.
Too far. I mean, it's going back to ECW and their other, brother company, UFC.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it's like he's starting to get this push organically from the fans.
Yeah.
Stuff is starting to happen. It's all clicking. Stories are compelling. And then all of a sudden, what he had to say today on Ariel Helwani, I hope to God we're all getting worked, because if it's true what he went out and said, and if you haven't heard, basically he prompted leadership in January saying, hey, my contract's coming up for renewal or expiration in August.
Yeah.
I want to start conversation now. Me and Scarlett want to be here within the company. Yeah. We want to contribute any which way we can. Mm-hmm. So according to what he said on Ariel's show, he was given a contract 24 hours, and he asked the question, well, how did you guys come up with the evaluation of what you're offering me in this contract? Mm-hmm. And he was told, there are no details. You either take it within 24 hours or it's rescinded.
Okay.
And on top of that, there was no mention of Scarlett in this contract.
Okay.
So
she was out either way.
So he asked the question, what about Scarlett? Where are we going to start this conversation at? And they're like, we're going to deal with you first and then deal with her.
Okay.
Knowing, come on now. We all know
right.
that
once you sign, then that may be why they were pushing him to sign so hard.
Right. So obviously he came back 24 hours later and said, look, without all the information that I'm looking for, how do I know what I'm signing here? If you can't give me information, what do I do?
Yeah.
And they rescinded the offer.
Yeah.
So he's left sitting at the table, still waiting for a conversation. WWE got up and walked. Mm-hmm. If that's true, damn you, WWE. Damn.
I mean, definitely. But let's also talk. That's a huge if, right? Now, that's why I asked in the beginning before we got into this part of the conversation, are we kayfabing here? Or are we bullshitting the group, or are we playing along with it? Or are we going to speak truth?
Not trying to take away anything from Ariel's podcast. Please, if you haven't listened to Ariel's podcast, the MMA Hour for Wednesday, please go back and listen to his podcast. Want to throw him some love. Definitely out there hustling the same, grind that we trying to do. So Ariel, not trying to take anything away, but Ariel asked him that question. Mm-hmm. Are we getting worked? Mm-hmm. Flat out, straight face, looked him dead in the eye, didn't bat, didn't blink, didn't breathe. Said no.
Well, of course.
Exactly.
They asked Seth Rollins. They said, Seth, is your injury or work? Are you work? And Seth, he look at me out here. Would I be doing all this for the business? Obviously, yes.
Conversation also got deep when Ariel said, okay, so I get it. So this is like, I believe you 100%. Whatever you're saying, I believe you 100%. This is kind of the new generation of kayfabe, as they're saying. Yeah. And he said, no. He said, what are you calling the new generation of kayfabe? He said, we didn't start that. He's like, you want to talk about new generation of kayfabe, you got to give Brian Pillman credit.
Yep.
That right there is why I am a fan of Karrion Kross.
Okay.
He's quoting stuff like that. Now, if you are... kudos to creative, kudos to Paul Heyman, kudos to Triple H, kudos to Karrion Kross, Scarlett, anybody who's involved. If you are working us, kudos to you, because I am enjoying being worked, because you've got me all up in my feels about Karrion Kross not being in WWE no more.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you there. I definitely get the feeling. The only thing though, and I'm not sure how much the listeners that are listening to us right now know about the whole Pillman work situation. So, I'll drop a little bit of information here that I heard from the Eric Bischoff podcast years ago. And that was that, Brian was looking for a certain number, and Eric basically told him, I can't give you that number. But he kind of led him to, what you should do is go to WWE, raise your stock, show your worth, and then I will be able to give you that number. So he told him, just go there and sign a 1 year. The minimum contract they got is a 1 year. Go sign a 1 year. And then after a year, come back and then we'll talk and I'll probably be able to get you that number. Now, what it turned into, though, was Pillman going off the rails and, going to WWE and actually really succeeding. Well, unfortunately, it didn't end the way it was supposed to because Pillman never got through that first year to look into the renegotiation. But that was a full work shoot at that point. Because, Pillman was basing his livelihood and his life on a promise that he got from a guy who was known to fire people, a.k.a. Stone Cold Steve Austin, prior to being Stone Cold.
Right.
At very inopportune times. So, you want to talk about crapshoot. Brian Pillman wasn't crapshooting at this point. He was playing Russian roulette.
Yep.
He took his entire livelihood and banked on himself. He bet on himself. Like, hey, if you're telling me this, I'm going to be that star. I'm going to make that name for myself, and I'm going to make you sign me for more money.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he just didn't get to the other side of it to actually see it play out. But if that's what Karrion Kross is doing, then that could lead to a few different things. Obviously, he has a history at TNA, right?
Yep.
TNA has a working relationship with WWE, right? If let's take everything he said at face value. Let's say it's all true. Let's say we're not being worked.
Right.
If I'm Karrion Kross, I'm Killer Kross back at TNA, who's affiliated with WWE. I'm working that angle. I'd go back to TNA tomorrow. I'd be on their Thursday night show, Wednesday night record. You guys know. I'd be at TNA tomorrow as Killer Kross, and I'd go out there and maul the heavyweight champion of the world, who is a WWE superstar, NXT superstar.
Right.
Under the TNA banner. I'd do that. I'd find my way to get a match with Trick. I'd beat Trick for the TNA title on WWE TV. Then I would throw it in WWE's face and say, you guys, first of all, you'll never get rid of me because my talent is so superior that, I'm always going to be. But now I'm just doing this to stick it in your face that you had this and you gave up on it. And now I'm going to go off to be the biggest TNA World Heavyweight Champion of all time in you guys' face. If it's true, I would do that.
So here's the way that I kind of see it. If he winds up in one of two places, I know that this is a shoot. If he winds up in AEW,
well, obviously there,
or CMLL,
yeah, because neither one of those have any affiliation with WWE. So yeah, 100%.
If he winds up in either one of those,
yep,
I would say that this is a complete shoot.
Yeah, at that point, now he is Brian Pillman.
Correct.
He has gone to the enemy. Correct. He is gonna do whatever he does there.
Now, if he 100%. If he starts popping up TNA, New Japan, AAA, different indies, different Revolver, just different indies all over the place, right?
Yeah.
If he pulls the Cody Rhodes, this is a work.
Yeah,
they've learned from it,
and they're going to capitalize.
So, as a booker, here's what I would love to see right off the surface. As a booker, okay, no, you're going to disagree with parts of that, but that's what makes this fun.
Well, the upside as an alliance, I'll hear you out.
So. All right. So my deal is everybody automatically thinks, well, he's got from August to February to go run the Indies. February, he shows up in the Rumble.
Oh, hey.
Okay, that's a possibility, right? Mm-hmm. That's not what I want to see.
Okay.
That's not what I want to see. Who was his biggest opponent right at the end of his run in the WWE? Sami.
Oh, Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was the storyline they were running? Storyline was, you're evil,
Sami's
Sami.
Not a good guy.
Sami, you're not a good guy. You're evil.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to admit it. I'm right. Just admit it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that storyline's done. Here's what I would love to see happen. Somewhere along the way, within the next year, if they are ever going to pay off Sami Zayn in a world title picture, they got to do it within the next year or so, because he's not going to have.
Yeah, he's not going to catch fire.
He's not going to catch fire like this again, right? Even if they put the Intercontinental or U.S. champion strap back on him, they need to get him back into a championship scene.
Yeah.
They've got to. Now, granted, there have been plenty of people that walk the halls of the WWE for years. There's totally a bunch of evidence where the strap doesn't make the man. You can be a big-time player within the WWE without ever winning that big-time championship.
Yeah.
But with Sami, I would love one time just to see him win that world title, right? One time. Doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be at SummerSlam. Don't have to be at one of you big four. Be nice if it was, but it doesn't have to be. But just one time, put that strap on him. And the day they put that strap on him, celebrate him in the ring like no tomorrow. The fireworks, the ticker tape, everything. Let him celebrate in the ring. Mm-hmm. Lights go out. 30 seconds. Come back. And Kross and Scarlett are standing over him with that pipe. And Sammy is bleeding profusely. Now, that is what I want to see, because if he's going back to the Indies, he better freaking go back as Killer Kross, not Karrion Kross.
No, he can't go back as Karrion Kross.
But to me, that Killer Kross gimmick, he's violent, he's vicious, and he's unhinged. He's Brian Pillman, basically, right? Yeah. If he was to come back in that way, dude, you get 2 pops for the price of 1. You're going to get a massive pop for everybody that has pulled for Sammy over the years to get that world heavyweight title. And then you're going to get that second pop off of the same spot for Karrion just popping up out of nowhere. So that's what I would love to see happen.
All right. So let's now, like I said, we both booked. So now let's align, because we're the Bookers Alliance. Is the TNA Championship a big enough title for you to see that storyline play itself out as?
For Sammy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So let's say Killer Kross does what I said, goes to TNA, wins the title, whatnot. He's got to lose it somewhere, right? Let's say he loses it somewhere down the road, and then, whoever he loses it to, Sammy wins it from him. And then you get your same scenario. Look how when great minds come back together. We just drew out a year. We gave him at least up until SummerSlam next year. Sammy could win that title at WrestleMania.
Yep.
They could pay it off with your part of the storyline at SummerSlam next year.
Yep.
Good Lord, we booked them for a year, and Karrion only has to go to TNA, who's now working with WWE anyway. Placeholder. Yeah. Why not? That'll give the fans who are craving for him so much right now, that'll give them time to miss him. If he goes away and you hate it, hey, look what happened to CM Punk. CM Punk went away for 10 years.
Yep.
They never stopped clamoring for him. The minute he came back, top player in the company.
Yep.
Immediately top player in the. They swerve, they twist, they turn. The fans are along for the ride on every bit because they love him.
Yep.
Let Killer Kross, let Karrion Kross, let Scarlett go away. Let them build that same groundswell and pay it off in a year.
Yep.
Oh my God! I mean, he's a made man at that point. At that point, you can elevate him to WWE title status. He can, come back, maul Sammy, because we said that's what should have happened this year.
Right.
At SummerSlam was Karrion should have mauled Sammy. He should have mowed through him and showed he was a dominant character. And and then he could ascend to the next level at that point. Okay, it didn't happen this year at SummerSlam. I get it now because we're in this other arc. We're in this new story, be it story work, shoot work, whatever. We're in it, whatever it is now. We're fully in it because they started something. They announced information. Do all of that we said. Let Karrion come back, destroy Sammy, take the TNA title, use that to catapult himself up to WWE title status. My God, we almost booked their entire 2026 for Karrion Kross. And I say we end it somewhere with him on top. Give him his chance. Give him his run. Get that groundswell up that the fans won't. Make that Daniel Bryan groundswell. Make him wrestle for the title. Damn it, if you don't want to do it, let the fans force you to do it so you have no other choice.
Now, if we just busted up the storyline, we apologize in advance, but we make no apologies around here at the same time. So
if we just busted up the story, and we booked you out a year and a half, you know the number. Sign us up. We didn't get T Swift this weekend, but I'll take a HHH phone call next week for a podcast show. We can have a conversation. You know what? I'll put this out there for the crowd right now. If WWE calls us, if they hear this and they call us and they say, damn, you guys have been on point at least the last 7 months, and you're hitting all the points. You basically dissected Unreal before we even released it. We need to bring you guys on board. We'll sign that contract on air live. We will broadcast live. We'll YouTube it. We'll video it. We will record it. We will drop it as an episode podcast or sign another contracts. We will do it. I put for the fans, for all the millions of people listening. I'll put that out there. When WWE makes the call, we'll take the call. We'll put them on hold because we got that kind of pull. We'll put them on hold and we'll get you guys live. We'll get set up and we'll record that conversation of us signing our contracts because it'll be based on you guys' support, which we appreciate.
Yep. So, Karrion, if you're listening to this podcast by chance and this is not a work, we hope the best for you and Scarlett. I hope,
I know she's listening because we're patched in.
Yeah, you patched in.
I'm just saying.
So, look.
Married women and all those things. Keep it on the down.
May fortune find you both. May you guys get whatever you deserve in life. And I hope the best for you, too. I hope this is not the last time that we see you on our television screens. You've got too much to offer. Too much to offer.
I agree.
Too much to offer. So with all of that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Thank you for listening and reach out on our social media platforms. Let us know everything that's going on in your world. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Peace. And keep it on the down low.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.